Hey everybody, this is Jose Sanchez. A good buddy of mine did top 64.
64, I got 36.
He got 36th place at the latest regional in Fort Worth, Texas. He did it with the deck that we're going to be doing a profile for today, which is his Mannadium deck. Go ahead and take it away, Adriel.
Yeah, hello. I got 5 out of 508 players that showed up at the Fort Worth regional. I got 36th place with Mannadium. I feel like people were really unprepared for this deck. Like, everybody was ready for the Fire King matchup, and no one knew, like, all day no one knew where to stop this, and it, like, really only lost itself. I'm going to go over my matchups and the deck just overall. It did really good. I went 6-2-1. But yeah, let's just go into, like, most of the main starters and stuff like that. Okay, so for the most important starters, we have 3 Riamhart. We're going to start with him. Riamhart is just essentially like the second soul of this deck. He's a quick effect special summon himself during the main phase by popping 1 card you control with either 1521 or a Mannadium card. You use this guy with Meek in order to pop him most of the time, or just another hard monster because they're all 1521. He's just really good because he adds you a spell or trap, and like when you see him, it's over. Like you're just gonna get into all your lines, and if they have nothing, it's over. And then for the other 3 hearts, we have the Scareclaw right card. He's like a semi-starter because if you would rather see Riamhart over this guy, but he adds you the Scareclaw Arrival spell, which is like really strong. But he just doesn't get you into the lines you want. Him by himself is just not enough. And then we have our last kind of semi-starters, which is Meek. Meek plus any of these 2 heart guys is just really strong because if he gets popped, he summons another Meek, and you can change that Meek into level 4 or 2. And since it's not the Meek on fields effect, even if they imperm it, it's still level 4. And then yeah, that's your main tuner because you make the level synchro 8s, which I'll show later on. Then we have our 3 Fenrir. Okay, this is a starter. This is a great starter. Not only does Fenrir get rid of 2 problem cards on the board because you swing, attack, banish 1, and then attack again. He adds you the 3rd Kashtira card, right card, or Scareclaw Kashtira. This guy can get you into your. He's only here just to get you into your Scareclaw line because you can banish him for the Link 1, and everyone lets Fenrir resolve, and this is just too important. And then for the other guys, so we have 3 Visa Samsara. This guy he's not a warrior. You have to draw him to him. He's not a warrior, but he can special summon himself by shuffling 1 Visas monster from the graveyard to special summon himself. He's really good if you just have him and another heart. You can just go into your 8 already, and it's just really strong because you kind of force out the negates. However, he's the worst normal summon because if you get impermed on him, you normal summon him, get impermed. His name is no longer Visa Starfrost on the field, so you can't use him for anything that like requires it, which sucks. So last resort type stuff. And then you have the main guy, the 2 Visa Starfrost. Sometimes he's a brick, sometimes he's really good. You special summon this card by targeting 1 monster with a different attribute, different type, and then he destroys that card and special summons himself on the field. He's the heart of the deck. He gets you into your Scareclaw line. He's your best tuner because he's level 6, and having a level 6 tuner is just ridiculous that you can search. He makes Baron super easily. And then I believe that's all the core. Oh, well, I guess we'll go over the hand traps too, because we'll just do monsters if you want to pause it. Right? Okay, so for the hand traps, that's not the full engine, but we'll go over the hand traps first because I have this in order of monsters. We have 3 Ash, pretty standard. This doesn't need explaining. It just hits everything, hits all the basic decks. You can also normal summon Ash, synchro into level 10. I did that a lot. If you have Fenrir and you don't use your normal summon, you just normal summon this thing, synchro into another 10. Ghost Mourner and Moonlight Chill. I played this because the fire matchup, you don't want to give them Ash Blossom because they'll just link into the stupid princess. And this card just puts in work. It's a time card also. I didn't side this out a lot. I just played 2 because we're already on 45, and I didn't want to be at like 46. It was too much.
Yeah, it'd be better to end up at 50.
Yeah. And then we have 2 Nibs. Same thing. Nib is really high impactful against Fire King, which I saw like a lot. Like I think I played 3 rounds of Fire King. This card just puts in work against a lot of stuff. Like Voices, they overextended a Dynamundo. You just hit them with Nib and they just cry about it. You can also link this into your Cross Sheep. And it's just really strong just to not use any of your summons to link in a Cross Sheep. And then for the last hand traps, we have 3 Imperm. I wasn't playing Imperm originally, but one of my friends, Shao Luna, he convinced me to play this card, and thank God he did, because just non-monster, non-triple tack, non-thrust target, like, activation is really strong. And also, a card you'll see later on just works really well with this card, because it turns off all their traps. And then this is for the rest of the engine. We have 3 Peaceful. This card is crazy. This card is ridiculous. This card activates, you add 1 Mannadium monster or Visa Starfrost. Both effects come up. You're going to end up adding one or the other, because since you play 9, 11 essentially, you have a really high chance of seeing one of them and then already having one of them in the hand. The second effect is what makes it broken. It lets you reborn a monster when a tuner is destroyed, and that's not from grave. It's from grave or banished. It actually came up against Flu. He didn't realize that I could bring my Meek back from the banished zone just because of this card. So this plus Meek is like, you're going full combo already. Like, there's no stopping it. Then we have the rest of our little planets right here. We have Primitive Planet Phobia. This is 2. It has, this one lets you add a Scareclaw monster or Visa Starfrost. If you're resolving this, you really want to just see Visas. And it has a second hidden effect that no one knows. It's just, if there's 3 defense position monsters on the board, you can pop 1 target on the field. That's how I was outing summon limits, just breaking boards, because people, the fire decks really like to place their Poplar and Ash in defense position. And once you get this, you should have your Scareclaw line set up, so you just special summon the right card in defense position, get the draw 1, and then you activate the pop, and it's just really strong. And then for the last planet, it's actually Pearl Rhino. We don't care about like the shuffling and stuff, you just care about he can add Visa Starfrost, because you need to see Visas. It's so important to see him in some form, because you can't play the game without him. Then we have, the Board Breaker. So I was playing this deck as a hand trap mixed with a Board Breaker type deal, because a lot of, like, nowadays in this format, you didn't see a lot of big negate boards like you used to. So board breaking, but you do see a lot of interruptions. So Droplet just really helps breaking, like Voices, Snake Eye, all that. So this is what combos with Imperm, because against like Labyrinth and stuff, they can just really I was scared of Labyrinth, but they can just activate their traps. But you can just essentially set up your grave by sending like your Visas if you have Amitar in hand, and then just pitching this. They can't respond to anything. They can't do anything about it, because most Snake Eye boards are making Zealantis and Apple, and you just have to out that, or else you can't play the game. We have our 2 arrivals. This is the not once per turn monster reborn is ridiculous. So this card lets you target a Visas or a Scareclaw monster, bring it back in defense position, and then you can banish it to protect. However, I didn't banish it because, Link monster, the Scareclaw Link monsters don't come up a lot, and you don't see it. But this card just is too good. It lets you go to your rank 10s like over and over and over again, because you just keep reborning the level 6 tuner. You keep reborning your Visa Starfrost, and then you always have a 4 to keep going into. It's literally the strongest card in the deck. Just not being once per turn is so good, and if you draw 2, it's like you open the God hand. We'll go for so we're playing 1 Obsession. This one's really good. Again, your whole deck is like, the whole point is to pop your little monsters to get value off them. So if you have this card, essentially, it pops 1 card on the field, and then you add one Peaceful Planet Calarium. However, if you have that already, which you usually will, you just add a Mannadium spell or trap. There's 2 others that we play, and it just really gets you into it. However, the second effect, you don't really care if this resolves. The second effect in Grave, it says you banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Heart or Visas from your hand, and sometimes Visas just get stuck in your hand, and this makes it like almost 10 times better because, I mean, you're running a level 6 break at most times. Mannadium Imaginings. So this is the draw 2 Pokemon. This card fixes your hand. So what it does is you reveal 1 Mannadium monster, Visa Starfrost in your hand, draw 2, and then place 1 back. This came up so much because you're just drawing 3. No one's playing draw this format, and you're just drawing 3 every turn, and you want to see this card. If you're going first, not as much. Or if you're going second, not as much, but if you're going first, seeing this plus your Obsession and the trap is just strong. Also, the second effect did come up. It makes targets 1 card, 1/15/21, and then it becomes a tuner until the end of turn. I'm going to show you how broken that was because I didn't think it'd come up, but it did. And then for our extra kind of utility spells, we're playing 1 Rhoda. Don't need to explain that. 1 Talents and 1 Call By. All of these put in work except Talents. I feel like Talents, I could cut in, I'd be happy. This put in so much work against just setting it and letting them play, and then you hit them at the right time. It's just over for most people.
What would you replace Talents for?
Honestly, I don't think I'd replace it. I think I'd just leave it there. I do have a couple things that I might play in, but we'll see that in the side deck right now.
Cool.
And then the counter trap. This card saved me so many times. It's essentially when a spell or trap. It's an Omni negate. When a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, while you control Synchro monster, negate that activation. And if you have Visa Starfrost or a monster of 15/21, it pops the card. And then it has the effect to you banish it on any turn, and then shuffle back up to 3 Mannadium monsters. That's strong because of something in the extra deck, but this just saved you from Dark Ruler No More and dropping all the sacky cards.
All right. So next is the extra deck. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the first 2 monsters, we have Scareclaw Lightheart. You have to play him at 2. This card is just ridiculous. Not once per turn. He summons himself back for free every day. I love when people imperm this and they do not read the card. It happened all day. People were just imperming this, and then I brought it back, and they're like, "Oh wow, it's not once per turn." And I was like, "Yeah." You can reborn it, then link it off into another one. And it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. This gets you the planet, your Reichphobia, and it's just too strong. Then we have our SP. This doesn't need any, like, she just put in work.
No, please explain.
Yeah, right? I know. She just puts in work. I ended up, one game, I had to make her with Lightheart. Link her off, banish herself, then bring the Lightheart back with Visa Starfrost on the field, and then special summon him to keep going. Because it's really hard when you're... This deck requires your zones to be like... You have to know how to use your zones. And Lightheart just needs to be off board. And sometimes when you have a Link monster in his extra monster zone, since it requires to be in the extra monster zone, it just sucks. So I banished her, brought him back, linked him off into another copy, and it was just good to go. The one Typhon, this guy didn't really come up. He came up once against... Did he come up again? I think it was like Fire King. It was Fire King Snake Eye. He did alright. He just you feel like you're losing when you play this guy. Like it feels like you're losing every time. And I swear his name was Nemesis. Like I swear he had Nemesis somewhere, and that's how much I don't play him. I thought he said Nemesis.
Yeah, it doesn't say Nemesis.
It doesn't say Nemesis.
But you put Star Crisis, so I was able to find it.
Yeah. And then we have our 2 Vicious Astro. Oh my god, this card is so good. This card is broken. Whoever said contact, non once per turn contact fusion target pop was 2 not strong is very good. So this is the fusion deck, fusion card of the deck. Essentially, you banish Visas and a 15/21 from your graveyard. That's why you play Droplet, because it also sets up your grave a lot. And then you just special summon him, and then he's on target. On summon, target 1 on the field, pop, and then he gains attack. He just breaks boards. All day I was popping Zelantises with this guy, and they cried about it. You know, they can't really do anything, or they're forced to use their quick effect. Actually, they can't even do anything. Yeah, they can't even do anything. And then this is part of the combo with Cross Sheep, which we'll go into right now, to reborn a Meek and stuff like that. But yeah, this. Oh, also cannot be destroyed by battle. Super strong against Flu. They couldn't do anything. They we'll go into that right now. But that was really strong. Cross Sheep. This guy is. Oh, this is like the best card ever. If he's pointed at a fusion and synchro monster, all monsters you control will gain 700, and then the fusion will reborn one monster level 4 or lower monster. So you make this, and then you reborn your Meek, and then you make your synchro plays from there, and it's just really strong. You always have to go through this line in order to get your full end board, which is like Apple, the counter trap, Baron, and just the disc pattern is like really strong. Let's go to our rank 6s. So we have one rank 6, Triscuda. This is the worst line. You never want to go through this line. It gets weak to it's weak to DD Crow, the Bestials, Imperm. This line is just garbage. But when it's special summon, it lets you target one card in your graveyard, one tuner, level 1, 2 or lower tuner, and then summon it. And then you basically synchro climb, but this is just really weak to everything. So if you're going into this, it's like last hopes. Then we have our Synchro 8, which is what we go into, Visas Amitara. This card's Visa Starfrost, so when you go into your Scareclaw line, you can link him off into the Scareclaw line. He also adds any card that mentions Spelltrap that mentions Visa Starfrost. He's usually made if you have the optimal hand, and then if you have Meek on board, because you special summon Meek, you can pop him, and then he'll just proc into more Meeks, and it'll just be a problem. And then for our rank 10s, I'll just show the rank 10s all together. We have Changing, Baron, and then we have this pattern. These cards are great. You always end on one of these, and they're always impactful. The strongest one is always this pattern, because since you're banishing for Vicious Astrolabe, you always have targets for this. But the second, these two just put in work at the regional. I played 2 Voices Voice, non-target banished against that deck. They just scooped, like they can't do anything about that. Nice 4100. Nice 4100 Bozo. Just gets banished.
Not only that, but also your opponent's monsters lose, and it's banished from field and graveyard. This guy's crazy.
You're constantly gaining. I wasn't playing this originally. Luna put me on, and it just came up. You banish the trap on their turn, and it's just you non-banish 2, and it's just really strong. One from the graveyard, one from the field. Yeah, it's over.
Any synchro deck that you can put Changing in also cannot be destroyed by card effects.
Yeah, also,
as long as you have something in the graveyard.
You quit. Yeah, that's another good point. He can't be destroyed by card effects, which if you can't proc his effect, he has to banish in the graveyard for that. And then it just pops more and then just keeps going.
Yeah.
But this, it's monster negate by shuffling one on your opponent's side. You're always going to make your opponent have a banished card. And then it summons a banished Lighter Dark, which your entire deck is basically Lighter Dark. And then for the last Synchro monsters, we have one Crimson Dragon and one Excel. We play a lot of level 4s, so Excel is when you have a 4 and you have like Visa Samitara and a level 4 tuner. You just don't beat Visa Starfrost, you just go into this. You can bring back the Meek if you're under Droll, keep the Meek there, make it your Apple and your Baron. And then this card, just any Synchro 10 you don't make, you just target your own 10, make your own 10. You either end on like Changing, Baron, and just ridiculous. Like that, this card is ridiculous because it's a quick effect, and if they imperm, you just do it on their turn, and it's just really strong. Like there's no stopping this card. And now we'll just go on to the side deck. And then we have one Apple. This is typical end board. She's really strong. You usually end on her with 4 or 3. You can also make her gain another negate if she's on the field with Visas Amitara, because he gains 700, and then your Cross Sheep will also gain you another 700, meaning you have 14 in total and you have another negate. And then now we'll move on to the side. We're good. Okay, so for the side deck, we're playing the Bisteel package. We're actually playing one of, because I couldn't find like another Druid's Worm. But since I'm playing Nib, this one actually really came clutch. Because if you Nib them and then you activate this, you can ban it. The second they summon another extra deck monster, it just banishes. But these were the MVPs of the regional, like really strong. Against Voiceless Voice, I opened all 3 of them and it was over. He just cried because he sent Saphira. I don't remember if it was, I think it was Druid, I think it was Magnemite. I banished it and he was like, yeah, pass. And I went Magnemite effect to search the other one and it was just way too strong because you can also just link these off. And then another thing that they came up with was I summon limit. My opponent like hand trapped me to death. It was against Fire King. I placed a summon limit. I Magnemutted him on his turn. It came back to me. I outed my own summon limit by the spell Obsession, the one that lets you target one and then it becomes a tuner. I normal summoned the level 4, made it a tuner. Synchro 10, and that was 2 summons. I popped my own summon limit, proceeded to FTK him, or OTK him, and it was that they come clutch. The pop off Druid's Worm is just too good, and then Magnum being able to search any of these 2 is just really strong. And it's just on your opponent's turn. You're playing on turn 0, so for the next 3 cards, unfortunately it's a format where we have to play summon limit. We have to, if this resolved, I knew I was gonna win. It like actually did not matter. It's just really strong. It's just a big floodgate. You already make so many negates. Adding this on top, it's like it's over, And yeah, I just came up every round that I could. I hate that I have to play it, but you have to. It's too many summons in this format, and it really helps.
No, summon limit to 1.
Summon limit to 1. No, it makes my deck a lot weaker.
That works for me, man.
And then we have our Labyrinth hate, because we hate that deck, and we hate like every deck that can play a field spell. This came up a lot against Flu. I hit like his Harpy's Feather Storm. I also sniped his Trap to summon during the main phase. It just comes up. Every deck is playing a trap, and so being able to snipe it going second is just really strong. Also, I was expecting Labyrinth, and I hate that deck, so we side this in for those.
You didn't play Labyrinth at all, did you?
I did not play Labyrinth. I sided for it so hard, I did not play it at all. And then we have our Thrust. So we have our Thrust, and then we have our targets. So we have Durama Cannon, different dimension ground, and evenly matched. Thrust, unfortunately, in testing, it did come up a lot. Thrust, I just did not see a game where I wanted to side it in. So it didn't come up like at all this regional, which was so sad because these cards are so impactful. Like Durama Cannon was a last minute change. This card just kills Snake. This card just puts everything face down, or if you go into the wait for their Z-Lances play, it just stops their turn. Their Apple can't do anything about it. For these 2, evenly matched is just a blowout card. Again, they can't do anything about it. But this card, oh my god, going first, Shifter on your opponent's turn only is just really strong. It also sets your disc patter up to keep negating stuff, and it's just too strong. Every deck relies on the graveyard this format, and it's just, you need this if you're playing this. You need a way to Shifter someone on their turn. And for the last card, we got Gagaga. He just has big attack. I just like him.
Yeah, sure. That's what it was.
We know why he plays just the burn. We need a time card, and it's easy to make level 4s. I didn't resolve this once. I went into time once, and we were mid-siding, and I sided him in, and I didn't see it. Every game was either an OTK or I just grinded with them, and I just won naturally. But then, yeah, that's it for the side decks. That's it pretty much for the deck. What do you want to go over?
No, just that should be it, actually, unless you have any shout-outs or anything else you want to talk about.
Shout out everybody that went with me. Shout out Javi, shout out Luna, shout out Brendan, shout out JJ, shout out Isai. Shout out my roommates. I bother them like all the time. They're actually like in the back. I bother them all the time to play. Like I wouldn't have gotten there without everybody. And then mostly shout out Sun City Games. I would have met any of the people that have like really pushed me to play this game without the store. So yeah, shout out Sun City Games in El Paso. If you're ever around, just check it out. But yeah. pretty much it.
Cool beans. We might come back a different day for a combo video. If anybody wants to see that, let me know in the comments.